Good morning, everybody. Welcome back for installment of Scott's Selections here for Thursday, October 13th. Before getting today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a loss in baseball with Brandon Drury under half a hit at plus 125 on DraftKings. The game script went exactly the way that we thought it was going to for the first 5, 6 innings, and then everything went south. We thought Drury would get no hits against Kershaw. His overall career numbers were awful against him. And not only did Drury not get a hit in 2 at-bats against him, he didn't put the ball in play. He struck out twice. Then he was supposed to lead off in the 6th inning, and Kershaw had retired 7 straight. He was only at 80 pitches, and yet Roberts pulled him for Gratterall. I wasn't really sure why, and that ended up costing him the game because Gratterall struggled in that inning. But either way, the point is he ended up facing off against Drury, and we figured that he would get pulled for a pinch hitter, most likely Josh Bell, and that Drury would not face a righty the entire game. Unfortunately, that's where the prediction went wrong because Melvin left Drury in to face off against Gratterall, and he had a first pitch single. And he finished the game 1 for 4. I still love the value on it. Unfortunately, we got a lot of the prediction right, just not the final result that we wanted, and we picked up a loss. But I still love the value, and we'll look for a bounce back winner here on Thursday. And for today's play today, going to the NFL, looking at a game between the Commanders and the Bears, taking place at around 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this matchup, we're going to go with All Reliable, a prop that has done very well for us so far this season. It's a quarterback interception prop. It's going to be Carson Wentz interception at minus 110 on BetMGM. Time recording of 1 a.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like Wentz to throw a pick in this game. First reason to go through the recent games, Wentz has actually thrown a decent amount of interceptions. Wentz has thrown at least one interception in 5 of his last 6 games, also dating back to last year. And so far this season, he's already thrown 6 picks. So Wentz has done an awful job of showcasing good ball security. We know he's a bit of a gunslinger, even though he probably shouldn't be. And as a result, he makes a bunch of mistakes, and I think he'll probably end up making one on the road in this game. Now, to go through some other stats here, Wentz has thrown the ball a ton this season, as he has attempted at least 38 passes in each of the first 5 games. Now, some of that's based on bad game flow and the fact that they were getting killed by the Eagles and the Cowboys, for example, or the Lions also. However, last week the Titans game was actually close, and Wentz still was forced to chuck the ball around a lot. And a big reason why, Washington cannot run the football. To go through the rushing numbers, Washington is averaging just 89 rushing yards per game, which ranks 28th in the league. And Washington's also averaging just 3.9 yards per carry, which ranks 26th in the league. So I know Robinson came back last week. The ground game really wasn't great. Gibson's been underwhelming. McKissick's a pass catcher, and Robinson was okay, I guess, in limited action, but not great by any means. So I do think Washington might abandon the run once again, especially since they were so close to winning last week, since Wentz went for 359 passing yards. But I do think Wentz will throw the ball around a lot, which should result in a lot of opportunities for an interception. And it also is worth mentioning, based on the injury report, that Wentz is not 100%. He was added to the injury report later this past week as he ended up suffering a shoulder injury to his throwing shoulder. So I do think that with Wentz being a little bit, I'd say, below 100% health, maybe below 90% health, and having to throw the ball around a lot, I think that injury could result in a couple of inaccurate throws and it could result in an interception or two. Plus, they're going through the actual other injuries that Washington's dealing with, and they might be down a decent amount of receivers for this game. Dotson did not play last week. He's barely practiced at all since the injury, so I doubt he's going to play. Logan Thomas was banged up too, so he might not play either. And I know that Brown, who had the 2 touchdown catches last week, also was added to the injury report, and he's questionable. So you might be seeing a lot of unproven receivers who might get a decent amount of snaps, and the chemistry might not be there between Wentz and those weapons. So I do think you could see some miscommunications or just once again an overthrow by Wentz or a bad throw because of the shoulder injury. And based on the volume alone, I think minus 110 is a very good price. You can shop around. It's minus 120, I believe, at DraftKings, minus 125. So you're saving 15 or 10 cents, no questions asked. But with Wentz attempting that many passes per game, with an interception in 5 of his last 6 games, and with an injury to his shoulder and some injuries to the receiving core, I think he probably should end up throwing at least one in these 60 minutes. The play today, once again, here for Thursday, October 13th, is going to be on Carson Wentz interception at minus 110 on BetMGM. Bye, everyone.